So this is what I was expecting with this build. Instead, I got all this, hands and fingers that don't work, parts that will not stay together, and things that are just impossible to build no matter how much you follow the instructions. That's right, we're back with our Blokees. This time, it's Megatron. Hi folks, and welcome back to another session of Toys Are Cheaper Than Therapy. Today, we're going to be looking at another Blokees. I bought this when I was picking up Marvel Rivals Venom from Comics and Cocktails. I saw this one, $29.99. I thought it looked cool. I thought it was a pretty decent price point. So yeah, not looking up any reviews for beforehand, just wanted to check it out. Recognizing it was the Action Edition versus the Champion class that we did with Venom, so a bit more, I don't know if a bit more complicated build or if it just requires a bit more time, but we're going to find out today, and God, that is a lot. That, I don't know why, I think maybe with the Venom build kind of misleading me. I know it was a different class, but this is like how much you get in a box with a Gundam in terms of the amount of tray runners you get. So I'm gonna need some more space here. I'm hoping as well the instructions are the same as they were for Venom, because pretty handily at the start of each section it listed which tray runners that you needed for that particular element of the build. For your sanity as well, I have put 10 times speed on. Yeah, because I think in total this took me probably about 2 to 2.5 hours to build, and then it was like 30 minutes to maybe an hour doing the rest of the shots at the end. So yeah, this is me going through all the packs, trying to sort out what we've got. Thankfully, the instruction manual is like the Venom build. It tells you for each part what trays to get out, so the other ones you can just put to the side. It would be really handy if Gundam did this. I don't know if new ones do. The ones I've built don't, and it's just a constant back and forth going, oh, okay, now I need A1 tray, or I need D2, etc. But yeah, with this one I was really hyped for it. I won't lie, there was a few bumps in the road as we went through it, and even with the final product, it's not perfect, so we'll wait to see at the end. But I have these sections broken up for each part that we've done. So first off, we have the head. Pretty straightforward. It's quite cool. It comes with differing face plates and different kind of emotions from Megatron that you can use, both in the kind of standard metal grey, but also in the energy purple as well. I went with the metal grey on this, and I tried the purple energy later on, but the purple energy just does not stand out like at all from the rest of the armor, so it's just kind of lost. So the grey is a nice contrast, makes the face stick out, and you know, typical Megatron, half shouting, half evil laugh face. Yeah, so it's pretty quick to move through once you get to pieces and get into a rhythm. Saying that, it did take, like I said, about 2 hours to build, over 2 hours, I'll say comfortably. None of it was particularly difficult. I just think 1 or 2 points of the instructions were not clear, and they expected you to ignore the laws of gravity, because you're trying to put parts together while balancing them, and they were just falling apart before you could click them together. But no, the parts of this were really fun. I mean, the color scheme on this is just, it's cool. I mean, it's like that late 80s, 90s aesthetic of just translucent, colorful plastic. You know, everything from Game Boys to Apple Macs. Yeah, I have a real soft spot for it. So I mean, when I saw this, I was just like, yeah, I need to get this. And I'm gonna keep bringing up the price point for this, $29.99. For the size and scale of the model, I think is really great. I love Gundams, but the price point on some of the models, and even the Digimon Gunplas, I think can just be too high sometimes for what you get as the final product. And I'm really hoping that Blokees get some more IPs to help kind of bring down that price point here in the UK. I love a Gundam. I love a Gundam build. It's just sometimes the ones that you want, especially even with the Digimon ones, like I said, the price point can just feel a little bit too inflated to justify buying them. So, no, like I said in the last video, I can't believe I slept on Blokees for as long as I have, and really hoping that they continue to grow as strongly as they are. This was probably the most straightforward part of the build in terms of the waist. It's not much to say really. I mean, I think one of the things about the building system that Blokees use is that, you know, the real benefit of this over Gundam is you don't have bits of plastic left all over your table or your workspace from building them from the tray runners. And as well as that, there's very little, if any, marks left on the plastic from where they separate from the runner tray as well. Yeah, that's just positive, so it saves you having to sand down the pieces afterwards or anything like that. And just the click system as well, if you put a part on wrong, which, trust me, it's happened to me, it'll most certainly happen to you at some point doing this, it's easy to disassemble. And again, that ties into the strengths of this, as well as later in the video you'll see that there are interchangeable plates and parts. Like I said earlier, even the face plates on Megatron are interchangeable. So there's just a kind of degree of customization and diamonism to these figures as well. So the building system that Blokees have got down is great. Yeah, I mean, I have one or two niggling points about some of the accessories later on in the video, which I'll address then, but they're kind of minor compared to the kind of wider picture of this build and the build that we did on Marvel Rivals Venom the other day as well. So here comes one of the probably the most infuriating part of the build. So assembling the hands or attaching the fingers was relatively straightforward, and at first I was like, oh cool, it says you can bend and pose the fingers. These fingers are really annoying to pose. You pose one and then you accidentally hit another and knock it completely out of position, and they go every kind of which way, like they're throwing gang signs while having a stroke. That's the only way I can explain it. And they're just really annoying as well. And later in the video, when you're trying to attach, you know, try and get Megatron to hold a gun or hold a sword. Thankfully, he has a pin in his hand which fits into the guns and the swords. But yeah, no, the fingers are just really annoying. I've worked on some Gundam kits that have had annoying kind of digits on hands, etc. But these were just, yeah. And also it's not quite intuitive that, like, you read the manual and it says, yeah, no, the fingers will individually bend. They're quite resistant at first, so just to give you a heads up on that. And when you're trying to bend them, it feels like they might break. They don't. Well, I didn't have one break on me, but that's probably one issue that I picked up on this build as well. And it's just like anytime changing of accessories, it's a little annoying to rearrange Megatron's fists so his hands don't look crazy. Plus points coming up for this build here, and I was not expecting it, but Megatron has a toe hinge. Really great, and you'll see in the poses later in the video as well, just in terms of the articulation this offers. But it's not even like a flimsy toe hinge where like the boot or shoe or the hinge itself is like really loose. It feels sturdy as well. So I mean, yeah, it's just those little things you like to see. So it's not just you have the finished figure and he's standing in an awkward position on your shelf. You can actually pose him. You know, and I feel like this is the type of advantage that Blokees really gets. I mean, I sound like I'm shitting on Gundam and Gunpla in general. I'm not. I absolutely love them, but there is nothing more infuriating than when you're separating something from a runner tray and a piece breaks or a piece is loose in future, and you can't pose the figure when all is said and done. You've put all those hours into it and it just like flops over. Like even if you have a figure stand for it, it's not that sturdy or robust. And I'm literally only speaking now from building 2 Blokees, but both Venom and Megatron, they're chunky boys. They can stand up. They can take falling off the shelf. Venom has already fallen off my shelf. To be fair, I put him in a fairly precarious position hanging off my bookshelf, but he's still in one piece, where if that was a Gundam, it would shatter into a million pieces. So yeah, I just think it's an extra point that Blokees have got, and they've nailed it, and I think it offers them something over Gundam models in this market. Again, I'm not shitting on Gundam models. I mean, I sound like I am, but I still think they have their place as well. But I think if you're looking to build something and that you want to have it a little bit more robust and to survive falling off your shelf, then yeah, Blokees is definitely an option. Okay, so we're doing a bit of a shit sandwich in terms of feedback here. So the last thing I said was something good. Something negative I'm going to say here on just the legs construction, and you'll see it later on the video when you're putting all the parts together for the final figure construction, is that both leg sockets where they attach into the waist or the central hip joint, it's one socket, and it's not wide enough to accommodate the full size of both the leg sockets. So if you push one in all the way, it's not going to allow the other to fit comfortably in all the way. So you got to do a bit of a fine balancing act between the two. So once you get it, it's fine. Both legs stay in there. They don't just fall off randomly. But I feel like if that space, central space within the waist and hips was just that bit wider to accommodate the full kind of ball socket, or they were separate for the legs, I think it would just be a little bit more secure, because you know, it took me a few minutes of looking at it to figure out, I was like, oh yeah, this space is not wide enough to accommodate both. Kind of figuring out why the hell I couldn't get the left leg in. So yeah, I think that's, you know, that is a criticism. It would feel a lot more secure if it could accommodate both, but it's not, I'm not saying it's not a huge thing. It is kind of a huge thing, but the leg isn't falling out as it is. It's just to be aware when you are building this, that when you put one leg in, don't push it in all the way, leave some space for the other, and then just tighten up as you see fit. So speaking of which, here we go with the assembly. So starting off with the chest piece into the waist piece, I immediately regret that, because I then tried attaching the legs. As you know, I just described, this is the issue going on here. This does not feel like it's in all the way type of thing, and it took a while just of going back and forth and trying to see what the hell was going on with this. A few pieces of the plastic energy casing, like right there, fell off, which is a little bit annoying. But it's just with these things. Same thing with the Venom Blokees. You kind of just have to force in the legs and the joints. Yeah, it's just a minor thing, but it's just to be wary and be careful. And if I had my time back, I would have took off the chest and just done this with the waist and the legs first, and not make it more difficult on myself. So here you can see I'm highlighting the issue with the leg joint into the hip. Eventually got it sorted. Yeah, didn't give me any trouble anymore after that. Arms were pretty straightforward. At first it felt really restrictive on the arms in terms of the articulation, but it actually does have a lot of articulation in the arms type of thing. It's just not as intuitive as you think. You think it's not going to move that way because his armor is quite bulky, but no, he actually does. You'll see in some of the poses later on as well. But yeah, with the figure, really happy with it. And after the kind of annoyance of the fingers and the hips and the legs and all the rest like that. It was really fun to build these accessories. Like the gun is just, this is just cool. And just shout out to Blokees on this. The amount of accessories that they put in the box, they don't skimp on them. If there's one thing I hate is when figures come, this is supposed to be an action edition, this is supposed to be top of the line, of course it should come with all these extra accessories. Hasbro, I know I'm shitting you a lot, but Marvel Legends, stop ripping us off on accessories for the prices we're paying. Anyway, back to this. Really cool mace. It's, yeah, call back to the earlier season 1 episodes where you had that as well, that he then turned into a helicopter blades to take off and fly off the dam with. Energy sword, pretty cool. And the next bit is was really annoying to build. This is the energy fusion cannon, I think it's called in the instruction manual. Yeah, again, this was one of the difficult parts of the build, where the instructions were saying one thing and putting the parts together and trying to kind of put them all together to finish them, they just kept falling apart and falling out of each other. Yeah, no, this was annoying, and this actually took quite a while to complete, far longer than it should have. Just trying to think what the hell I was doing wrong with it. It was just trying to align everything up, and everything was like kept on slipping or falling out, but eventually got there. And it is a pretty cool piece. I mean, it's, you know, it's Megatron's kind of arm cannon. It is really, you know, iconic. It does keep coming apart though. Like, you have to be really careful to not completely destroy it, but it's got cool action where you pull back and it opens the cannon like it's supposed to show a kind of, you know, a dynamic kind of action of when the cannon is firing. So no, that was cool. So we're kind of getting to the end of the rest of the accessories, but probably one of my favorite, and I did not notice that he was included in the pack until I looked at the box when I was opening up, but we got Laserbeak as part of this setup, and yeah, no, he looks cool as hell. Comes with 2 different sets of legs. One, he's freestanding, and the other allows him to perch, both on the stand that comes with this and on Megatron's arm. If you remove an armor plate and swap it over with another changeable plate, it's actually the same one he uses for his gun. This guy, I have no idea who the hell this is. I do not remember him from the cartoon at all. I'm pretty sure it says in the instruction manual who or what he is, but I can't remember. And why does Megatron have a camera? Maybe my memory's failing me, maybe this is like an important plot point of Transformers, but I really do not understand that. Also, one of the highlights of the box / also one of the biggest disappointments is the Nemesis throne. I was really hyped when I saw this on the box as well, because, you know, it's going to make it a great display piece to have Megatron sat up there on it. He cannot sit on it. Quick note, you can also use this to store the gun, it just attaches to the back. But no, he cannot sit on his throne that comes with this box. He just slides right off it. The part of the cannon on the back will not allow him to sit and fit on it, and yeah, he just falls off it. You can take the kind of back piece off him to make him fit better, so he won't slide off completely, but there will still be a gap between his back and the back of the chair, and it just kind of looks a little jarring. Positive on the chair though as well. Yes, it looks great, it looks awesome. It also doubles as a storage space for all the extras you get with this when you don't have them in use. So I mean, that's actually, yeah, that's pretty handy. This next piece I'm building here, this was also a little frustrating to build. This is the alternative weapon. It's Shockwave's cannon. that does not fit in Megatron's hand. You can roughly place it so he's carrying it between his two hands or one hand, but it will most likely fall out. It will not attach to the pin in his hand. So I'm just kind of like, what is the point of including it in the box if Megatron can't even use it? So that was another little disappointing point. The gun looks cool and everything. I'm not taking points away from it at all for that. I actually did a later shot of Venom holding Shockwave's gun. He actually holds it better than Megatron does. It looks pretty cool. So Venom now is a gun. Yeah, as you can see here, this is Laserbeak on the stand. Megatron really doesn't need this stand. He's perfectly sturdy on his own 2 feet. But if you want to put him in kind of some more dynamic poses and such, you can. The magnet icon is really cool. I forgot to mention, he lights up and he looks evil as hell in the dark. But yeah, that was the build. It was really fun, and these are some poses we have of him. He scales really well. He holds most of his weapons really good. The only one he doesn't is Shockwave's gun. Yeah, which is disappointing. This is the mace, really cool piece. Yeah, I mean, and it's really flexible. Each one of those chain links actually move. As I said, this is Laserbeak as he looks when he's mounted on Megatron as well. Yeah, there are the kind of headlines. 2 to 3 hours for a build, depending on your level of experience. Here as well, you can see the gap at the back of the chair, which is so annoying. He does not fit on it. And that is Shockwave's gun in his hand before it falls out. So they're the kind of points that I'm raising. So I'm just gonna shut up for a second and let you enjoy the rest of these shots. So you can see here, he scales really well with Marvel Rivals Venom from Blokees as well, even though they're 2 different classes. Great articulation, he's easy to assemble, fantastic price point. All the negatives I've repeated out and out through this video. They're kind of minor points, but they do add up and they do take away from the joy of this build. So that's why I'm giving it a 7.5 out of 10, but this could have so easily been a 10 out of 10 if it wasn't for these goddamn fingers. Other than that, the articulation is great. He's a sturdy figure. It's gonna look great on your shelf. Yeah, the minor points I will get over. It's just, yeah, no, the lighting up feature really does do a lot for it. But anyway, thanks for watching, and please remember.
Thank you, Doctor.
No, I'm not a doctor.
Let us know your thoughts down below. Stay safe and take care of yourself.